was May 9th in the year 1887 that Buffalo Bill's Wild West show opens in London, giving Queen Victoria and her subjects their first look at a romanticized version of the American West. A well-known scout for the Army and a buffalo hunter for the railroads, which earned him his nickname, Cody had gained national prominence 15 years earlier thanks to a fanciful novel written by Edward Zane Carroll Judson. Writing under the pen name Ned Buntline, Judson made Cody the hero of his highly sensationalized dime novel, The Scouts of the Plains, or Red Deviltry, as it is. In 1872, Judson also convinced Cody to travel to Chicago to star in a stage version of the book. Cody broke with Judson after a year, but he enjoyed the life of a performer and stayed on the stage for 11 seasons. In 1883, Cody staged an outdoor extravaganza called the Wild West Rocky Mountain and Prairie Exhibition for a 4th of July celebration in North Platte, Nebraska. When the show was a success, Cody realized he could evoke the mythic West more effectively if he abandoned cramped theater stages for large outdoor exhibitions. The result was Buffalo Bill's Wild West, a circus-like pageant celebrating life in the West. During the next 4 years, Cody performed his show all around the nation to crowds often numbering 20,000 people. Audiences loved Cody's reenactments of frontier events, an attack on a Deadwood stage, a Pony Express relay race, and Custer's last stand at the Battle of Little Bighorn. Even more popular were displays of the Western outdoor skills like rope tricks, bulldogging, and amazing feats of marksmanship. Cody made a star of Annie Oakley, a young Ohio woman who earned her nickname Little Short Shot by shooting a cigar out of an assistant's mouth. Many Americans were convinced that Cody's spectacle was an authentic depiction of the Wild West. Cody encouraged the impression by bringing audiences genuine characters, real Native American performers Cody had recruited from several tribes. Even the famous Sitting Bull toured with the show for 1 season. Enthralled by the sight of genuine Native Americans, few audience members questioned whether these men wearing immense feather headdresses and riding artfully painted horses accurately represented tribal life on the Great Plains. Having effectively denied the popular image of the West for many Americans, Cody took his show across the Atlantic to show Europeans. He staged his first international performance at the Earl's Court Showground in London on this day in 1887 to a wildly appreciative audience. Queen Victoria herself attended 2 command showings. After London, Cody and his performers amazed audiences throughout Europe and then became a truly international success. One bronco rider who stayed with the show until 1907 traveled around the world more than 3 times and recalled giving a performance in Outer Mongolia. Though his Wild West show waned in popularity in the 20th century, in part because of competition from thousands of local rodeos that borrowed his idea, Cody remained on the road with the show for 30 years. When the show finally collapsed from financial pressures in 1913, Cody continued to perform in other similar shows until 2 months before his continuance of eternity in 1917. More than 18,000 attended the great showman's funeral, and the romantic power of his vision still draws thousands of visitors a year to his gravesite on Lookout Mountain above Denver. It was May 9th in the year 1914 that our nation's 28th president, Woodrow Wilson, issues a presidential proclamation that officially establishes the first National Mother's Day holiday to celebrate our nation's mothers. The idea for a Mother's Day is credited by some to Julia Ward Howe and by others to Anna Jarvis, who both suggested a holiday dedicated to a day of peace. Many individual states celebrated Mother's Day by 1911, but it was not until Wilson lobbied Congress in 1914 that Mother's Day was officially set on the second Sunday of every May. In his first Mother's Day proclamation, Wilson stated that the holiday offered a chance to publicly express our love and reverence for the mothers of our country. was May 9th in the year 1960 that the Food and Drug Administration approves the world's first commercially produced birth control pill, Envoy 10, made by the G.D. Searle Company of Chicago, Illinois. Development of the pill, as it became popularly known, was initially commissioned by the birth control pioneer Margaret Sanger and funded by heiress Catherine McCormick. Sanger, who opened the first birth control clinic in the U.S. in 1916, hoped to encourage the development of a more practical and effective alternative to contraceptives that were in use at the time. In the early 1950s, Gregory Pincus, a biochemist at the Worcester Foundation for Experimental Biology, and John Rock, a gynecologist at Harvard Medical School, began work on a birth control pill. Clinical tests of the pill, which used synthetic progesterone and estrogen to repress ovulation in women, were initiated in 1954. On May 9th in 1960, the FDA approved the pill, granting greater reproductive freedom to American women. The historic information divulged on this audio file can be verified on History.com.